Mark is, oh wow, without a mask. I haven't seen you without a mask in a long time, Mark. Well, Mark is one of the few people here at the parish one of the few parishioners I see week to week because he's been an integral part of our live stream team. But yeah, it's been with a mask for who knows how long now. But it's good to see you, Mark. Thanks for joining
Thank you. And thank you, Tristan.
I wanted to ask you just a couple of questions about Alpha and in general, and you're now part of our core team on Alpha. But if you could just describe, where you were in your life prior to taking Alpha.
All right. Well, thank you, Father Mike. Yeah, my life, fabulous childhood. I grew up with almost an inherited sense of faith, and I left home to take on the world, and as my success in the world accumulated, my faith started to recede. And when I look back, it, when I think back to like 2006, my mother was diagnosed with terminal cancer. I became the dutiful son to be her primary caregiver, and I look back at that time and I realized almost in shock, like I never prayed with her, I never prayed for her, and even at her funeral, I declined to pray the rosary with her mother, my grandmother. It from 2006, almost the next decade and a half, I worked hard to be successful, and I built a successful shell of a life of internal loneliness and anger, and fueled my life that way, to the point that my life was in shambles by 2019, and the only option I had left was to accept my cousin Brian's offer to come to Montreal, work for him, live with him, and figure things out. And that's kind of like what my life was before Alpha.
And so, how did you hear about Alpha? How did you come to take it?
Well, the first Sunday that I was in Montreal, Brian's like, "You're coming to mass with me. We're going to Grandma's old parish," and I hadn't been here since her funeral. So we came, and I sat just right over here, and I didn't know what was going on, and what was in store for my life. And the people that were sitting in the pew behind me introduced themselves and welcomed me to the church. And then after a few weeks, they said, "Why don't you come for brunch with us?" And then I started meeting a few other people, and then this Alpha thing kept coming up, and I kept getting invited to Alpha. And you know what? I didn't know what it was. I just said, "What do I have to lose? I meet a few more people that maybe make some friends," and I went. And that first Alpha, I had no expectations, but by week 2, the second discussion, I was thinking, who am I? What do I really believe? And I came to the startling discovery that each week I was coming and I was reciting this creed, and that creed kept coming to my mind as I was like, what do I believe? I believe in God the Father Almighty, and I started praying the creed each week instead of reciting it. And during those 11 weeks and the discussions, and people shared their thoughts and ideas about faith and love, I discovered a spiritual life. I began to accept the limitations of a temporal, material life, and realized I had a limitless spirit life. And that spiritual life is amazing. It was profound. I felt that discovery allowed me to open the door to Jesus, and I started to receive the gifts of the Holy Spirit. I started to feel peace. I started to feel love in ways that I hadn't before. I felt a sense of purpose now. I get up every day. My spiritual journey is not only limitless, but I can embrace it every day. And I have meaning and purpose in my life. And if, I probably would have ignored all the marketing from the altar, but it was the people who invited me that, it was a sign. When you get invited that many times, it's a sign, but just one invite is a sign. And I look now helping out with it that, if being invited is not a sign enough to come, then maybe a global pandemic where we switch it so we stream live right into your house is a sign. Or if you're in Quebec, you're under curfew. I know where you're going to be this Wednesday at 8 o'clock. You're going to be at home, and you're one click away from just checking it out. You know what I mean? Like, he's put together all these signs. So if you've been invited in the past and you've said no or not now, or you've been recently invited, or you've already said no, I know where you're going to be on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Just open up the computer, click in. If you want more details, Sean is going to put the website, stig.ca/alpha in the chat right now. She's going to also put in our email, alpha@stig.ca, because if you don't like commitment, email us and say, I just want to come for the first couple of weeks. And then when the curfew's over, I might be busy, but just come for 2 weeks.
I like that, Mark. Your cousin sort of said, there's no choice in the matter. It's Sunday. We're going to church. You're going to... It
was a matter of fact.
It was a matter of fact. And right now, that's almost what you're saying. It's like, hey, you're home on Wednesday. You're coming to Alpha, basically.
Why not?
That's great. I love that. Thanks. And if there's... it's an amazing story that you have. It's wonderful, and I love to hear all those things about that, the difference that it's made in your life, that opening yourself up to your spiritual, that infinite spiritual world that you said. That's amazing. It is extraordinarily freeing. I imagine.
Yeah, it's a gift in its own, and thank you for letting me share that. I most of this I've never shared before, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mark, and please give yourself that gift of doing Alpha, of clicking on Wednesday night and giving it a try, and to open yourself up to a whole new world that's awaiting you.